Yes, sir.
Okay, so after categorization and classification, that categorization classification was based on the drone rules 2021. Okay, I hope you don't have any questions now on that topic. If there is anything, do let me know so we can take up before we proceed to the next slide. Any questions?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. So this couple of slides I have put up specifically just to make you understand, because if you see our drone rules 2021 is the only rules in the world specified based on the weight. Okay. Whereas if you see the US, European countries or Canada or any other country, more or less they have a different segmentation or I say classification. Now, if you see UAE classification by range and altitude for Federal Aviation Academy. So US actually follows based on range and altitude. Okay, as well as size. There are three parameters which they consider to classify their UAVs or unmanned aircraft vehicles. Okay, so there is something called Hummingbird VTOL, then Skystar hybrid VTOLs, Global Hawk is there. Okay, or Predator. This type of drone you must have seen a lot of times in the war, as well as in Afghanistan. This was primarily used. Okay, actually this particular drone was very effectively used and been evolved in basically war in Afghanistan. Okay, and then also MD4 200, which is basically a surveillance drone. So all these are classified based on the range and altitude. Okay, if you see here in these micro and mini UAVs, okay, if you see micro and mini UAVs, its range is less than 10 kilometers. Its altitude is 300 meters. Endurance is less than 2 hours. Okay, or sorry, more than 2 hours. Or MTW. Okay, maximum takeoff weight is more than 30 kg. So this is what we say MD4 200. So this drone what we are talking about. Okay, this drone. Whereas if you see medium altitude, that is small, medium altitude long endurance, which can go up to 500 kilometers. Altitude it can go up to 3000 meters, that means 3 kilometers, and endurance capacity is almost 24 to 48 hours. Okay, it can carry weight up to 1500 kilograms to 7000 kilograms. Okay, like Talarion or Predator drones. Okay, high altitude. Okay, long endurance. Now if you see this in medium altitude long endurance or high altitude long endurance, these are not or rotorcraft drones. These are more or less fixed wing. Do you know why they are fixed wing, not rotorcraft? Any idea?
Fixed wings are more efficient and they provide lift even without using much energy.
Much energy, or there is not much of friction. Air is not required. Okay, as you climb higher and higher, your air becomes thinner. Okay, so you need more energy, as you said, more energy. Okay, so more energy would required for a rotorcraft. So if you see, if you have flown a drone, you would have seen when it is closer to the ground, it rises very quickly. Okay, because the air is more denser. But as you climb up and up and up more in the air, okay, as you climb, let's say 10 feet, 20 feet, your drone will not rise very quickly because air will become thinner and thinner and thinner as you climb up in the altitude. Okay, so that's why if you see this 3000 meters or 20,000 meters, this is almost 20 kilometers above the ground. Okay, the capacity of these drones for flying is almost 24 to 48 hours. If you want to fly that much drone, see how much power it will be. So again, these are not battery powered, these are combustion fuel powered. Okay, so their mechanism is completely different. Okay, and that's why their capacity, weight capacity is also very high. Okay, but then these are like aeroplanes or fixed wing, what we call. So if you see this Predators or Skystars, Global Hawk, these are all this in HAL or MALE categories. Okay, whereas if you see the smaller ones, where they are basically a rotorcraft or battery powered, their endurance will be also less and their weight carrying capacity will be also less. Okay, now very high efficient batteries are getting developed and all the things, but still we have not brought in that much breakthrough, because still if you increase the endurance with respect to the batteries, the weight of the overall weight of the drone will also increase, which will compromise your flight time. Okay, so the moment you think that okay, instead of 10 minutes fly by this particular battery, I will double the battery. You are not getting 10 minutes or 20 minutes by doubling the battery. That weight will incur up your the flight time also. So you will not, instead of getting 20 minutes, you may get only 15 minutes of time. So people will not say, okay, why should I double the battery? Rather, I will you fly it for 10 plus 10 minutes by changing the battery. Okay, that's how I can cover up my mission. That's why you see in agriculture drone, the drone capacity is only flying time is 15 to 20 minutes. By just adding battery, you cannot have drone flying for 30 minutes. Okay, so in drones, normally what we do is in agriculture drones, we will change the battery. So let it complete 15-20 minutes ka flight, come back, change the battery, let it resume back again. Okay, that is more efficient and faster way, rather increasing more and more battery for more flight time. Okay, so we need to understand where and how we can increase the efficiency of a drone usage. Okay, and just by adding battery is not going to yield you or give you better efficiency in that. Okay, then VTOL UAE, which is of range 5 to 200 kilometers, altitude is 6,000, endurance is 20 minutes to 8 hours. It can vary from 20 grams to 1400 kgs. So MQ9, Nano Hummingbird, or there is a small drone used which is being used by US Defense, which is called as Hornet. Okay, I don't know whether you have seen that or not. You can search on Google Hornet drone. It's very expensive drone, especially used and used or manufactured for US Defense. So it's a spy drone. It's just a small drone. Okay, I think it would cost not more than 100 grams also. Okay, so small helicopter size of drones or type of drone. Reconnaissance during the or providing support to the military missions or activities. So classification, as I said earlier, it was about range and altitude. Again, from the size perspective, they defined size as small, which is less than 50 centimeters. Mini is 50 centimeters to 2 meters. Medium is 5 meters to 10 meters. And large is greater than 10 meters. Okay, so like your Predator drones are very big. So they are called as a large drones or large UAS. Okay. So depending upon the type, range, altitude, and size, the drone is defined here. So if you see here large, what is this drone called? Global Hawk or this Predator. Okay, so these normally will large because it's basically a cargo drone. Okay, it delivers the cargo. Okay, whereas you can see a small, very small, rotor craft or even small gliders type of remotely piloted aircrafts are there. Okay, whereas mediums are mostly follow the Predator drones or even the what is that you called hybrid or VTOL drones also fall in this class. Okay, so that is medium based on size. So this is how the FAA, okay, Federal Aviation of Academy, that is US, basically defines their drones. Okay, whereas as per our drone rules 2021, we are categorized on type and the weight. Okay, type is rotorcraft, aeroplane, and hybrid. Subcategory is RPAS, model RPAS, or autonomous UAS. Okay, those are, and classification is based on maximum takeoff weight, that is nano, micro, small, medium, and large. Okay, defined by the particular range of weights. Clear on the FA? These are just for your understanding. Okay, these three slides are only just to understand our case and the other country classes. So more or less these are been followed by even Australia, European, UK. Everybody more or less follows the same terminology: range, altitude, and size. Whereas we follow the category and the classification based on the type and the weight. Okay, so now let's see the first segment of Drone Rules 2021, where I want to manufacture a drone. Let's say Shubham is manufacturing a drone. So he has designed a drone, he has done all the testing and all the things. Now he wants to get his drone to be certified. Okay, so how do he get it certified? So there is a form called D1 on the Digital Sky platform, which is called D1 form. Okay, so this form needs to be filled by the person or the company who is manufacturing that drone, because they want their drone to be certified for airworthiness and they want to manufacture these drones in multiple folds, like maybe 100 drones, 1000 drones, 10,000 drones for sale, or maybe giving it to people. Okay, sharing, selling or reselling, or maybe giving it or leasing it. Okay, that way. So no person shall operate an unmanned aircraft system in India unless such unmanned aircraft system conforms to a type certificate or is exempted. Okay, even some drones are exempted to be having as a type certificate also. We'll see which drones are being exempted from having a type certificate. Okay, the Director General or any entity authorized by Director General in this behalf may, on the recommendation of Director General, issue certificates to aircraft manufacturers and manufacture unmanned aircraft systems under certification of Are we back? I think there was a small disconnection.
Yeah, now you are audible.
But is my screen visible to you guys?
Yes, it is visible. Type certification of drones page.
Okay, okay. Just a minute. Some problem.